अस्सलाम वालेकुम। हाउ आर यू ऑल फ्रेंड्स? आई होप दैट ऑल आर फाइन। फ्रेंड्स, आज मैं 517 के नोट्स लेकर हाजिर हूँ इम्पॉर्टेंट एमसीक्यूज़ के साथ, 3 मार्क्स क्वेश्चन के साथ, 5 मार्क्स क्वेश्चन के साथ, जो कि पास्ट पेपर्स में बार बार रिपीट हो चुके हैं। तो अगर फ्रेंड्स आप ये मुकम्मल वीडियो एंड तक देखेंगे, पढ़ेंगे और गौर से लिसन करेंगे तो आपकी बहुत अच्छी प्रिपरेशन हो जाएगी और यकीनन आपके 70 से 80% मार्क्स इसमें आ जाएंगे। तो प्लीज़ वीडियो को एंड तक देखिए और आपकी यकीनन अच्छी तैयारी होगी। तो बगैर टाइम ज़ाया किए आइए स्टार्ट करते हैं। एमसीक्यूज़ से स्टार्ट करते हैं और ये वो एमसीक्यू हैं जो कि बार बार रिपीट हो चुके हैं। तो स्टार्ट करते हैं। स्टूडेंट्स शुड बी रेफर्ड टू ऑन कैंपस सो फॉर चेकिंग देयर कंप्यूटर स्किल्स बिफोर एंटरिंग द ऑनलाइन प्रोग्राम। Students should be referred to on campus so for checking their computer skills before entering the online program. The next is to identify the simple facts present in a written test is defined as literal comprehension. And next is the grammar app. ऑप्शन फ्रेंड्स आपको नज़र आ रहे हैं जिन पर ये येलो निशान लगा हुआ है, ये राइट आंसर है। तो इस तरह आप जो है देख सकते हैं। द क्वेश्चन इज द ग्रामर ऐप इज़ प्रोग्रेसिव एंड गुड एट स्पैनिंग कंसेप्ट फ्रॉम बेसिक लेवल अंडरस्टैंडिंग। मैंने दूसरी भी तमाम वीडियोज़ में बताया है कि जिस तरह ये इसका ऑप्शन ग्रामर है तो एग्ज़ाम में वो ग्रामर की जगह कोई और वर्ड भी दे सकते हैं, मतलब वो प्रोग्रेसिव को मिस कर देते हैं। प्रोग्रेसिव ये आ जाता है ऑप्शन में, यहाँ से वो कट कर देते हैं, तो इस तरह भी अक्सर हो जाता है। तो आप पूरा सेंटेंस जो है उसे गौर से रीड किया कीजिए। द ग्रामर ऐप इज़ प्रोग्रेसिव एंड गुड एट स्पैनिंग कंसेप्ट फ्रॉम बेसिक लेवल अंडरस्टैंडिंग। नेक्स्ट इज पेयरिंग द मोस्ट able and less able student to share task is peer teaching. Next, how many categories of action research? The categories of action research are 3 categories. And next, Wagreff and Darius 1998 summarize 8 challenges to learning. Next, PCC stands for PCC stands for Portland Community College. PCC stands for Portland Community College. Next, make judgments about the written text content, evaluative comprehension. And next is which app is designed to help students improve paragraph formation, integration of idea, inference, and abstract thinking and expression. The right answer is that story builder. And the next is the reading strategy used to get an overall idea of the passage. He is most likely to use the strategy called skimming. And the next is communicative writing means the use of orthography. It's so much important question that communicative writing means the use of orthography in order to construct grammatically correct sentences which communicate a meaning to the reader. And next is determine action for the next semester. The teacher decided to repeat the experiment learner but allowed learners a choice of selecting their own partner, working alone. Next, to work with others for the same task is called collaboration. It's so much important. To work with others for the same task is called कोलैबोरेशन। तो अब हम फ्रेंड्स चलते हैं 3 मार्क्स क्वेश्चन पर, जो कि पास्ट पेपर्स में बहुत ज़्यादा रिपीट हो चुके हैं, उनकी तैयारी करते हैं। तो ये फ्रेंड्स ये भी MCQ हैं जो कि बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट हैं, तो ये कर लेते हैं। तो फिर चलते हैं 3 मार्क्स क्वेश्चन पर। ये भी रिपीटेड MCQs हैं और आई थिंक ये हैं भी वो जो हम ऊपर कर चुके हैं। तो अगर हाँ ये वही हैं जो हमने आगे ऊपर किए हैं। तो हम चलते हैं 3 मार्क्स क्वेश्चन पर। क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 इज डेटाबेस सर्च इंजन। बहुत अहम क्वेश्चन है, बहुत दफ़ा रिपीट हो चुका है। डेटाबेस सर्च इंजन, आंसर इज दैट a database search engine is a search engine that operates on material stored in a digital database. Next, pro writing ad. The pro writing ad is an online writing editor and personal writing coach. Question: pro writing ad, and answer is that pro writing ad is an online writing editor and a personal writing coach. The application cleans up virtually all types of write-ups by identifying grammar and spelling mistakes, plagiarized content, and contextual errors. This allows them to learn from their mistakes and continuously improve their work. And the next question is 3 workload control protocol for student counseling. Answer is that set strict parameters for responding to emails and other online messages and make these clear to your students in both your syllabus and your class. For instance, make sure your students understand that although you will accept emails from them, you will not necessarily respond to each one immediately, and that you may provide responses to a question in the classroom if you see it is one that has been repeatedly posed. And then number 2 is specify which kinds of problems you will respond to. For example, personal problems, requests or issues or difficulties comprehending the subject matter. Steer clear altogether of administrative issues such as dates for upcoming tests or questions about homework. Such information is either available in the syllabus or more properly discussed in an online or on the ground discussion session. And next, insist that you will not respond to any email whose chief issue is not clearly identified in the subject line of the communication. And next is what is action research? Next question is what is action research? Action research asks the question, is there a better way? It's so much important question, friends. Action research asks the question, is there a better way? And usually includes 3 stages. Now, stage number 1 planning, number 2 acting, and number 3 stage reflecting. In planning the classroom, researcher tries to imagine a teaching learning problem and think of ways in which intervention might solve it. Consultation is encouraged both with teaching colleagues and the learners or subjects of the action. Although planning a timeline is encouraged, action researchers should also be open to adapting their plans and actions depending on the feedback and results they receive along the way. The next question is book creator. Answer is that use book creator to make, publish and share your own book, complete with text, image, audios and videos. With this application, teachers and students can create interactive stories, instructional manuals, research journals and multimedia assisted reports. And the next question is Blackboard Vista. So much important question, बहुत दफ़ा repeat हो चुका है. Answer is that Blackboard Vista is an integrated set of educational tools for developing and delivering courses or course components over the www and is now used at universities and colleges all over the world. There are many advantages, the greatest being standardization. Students who learn Blackboard Vista in one course can transfer that learning to another course. The teacher can track students' progress through and participation in the online material, including the number of minutes spent using the course material. Online quizzes can be timed for release at a specific time for a specific duration, then graded for quick student feedback. And the next question is hypertext. It's so much important question. Hypertext, ये सवाल इस तरह आ सकता है, what is hypertext, or write some about hypertext, or define about hypertext. So answer is that hypertext refers to links among textual items often indicated on a computer or website by keywords set in underlined blue type that when highlighted by a pointer device, mouse, trackball, finger on a touch sensitive screen and selected or clicked, take the reader to the reference. These links are usually defined in terms of their activity and are referred to as hot links or hyperlinks or increasingly commonly simply links. And next question is that hypermedia. Hypermedia is so much important question. The answer is that hypermedia refers to similar links to those used in hypertext, but instead of simply linking text to text, hypermedia involve linking various media such as sound, image, animation, or video. For example, a word or picture might have a link to a sound file giving its pronunciation. A video of language learning opportunity such as a shopping excursion might be linked to an animation that shows the same exchange simplified, omitting the distracting elements around the interactions between the shopper and the sales clerk. Or an animation might focus on related aspects such as a review of the value of different denominations of money. Next question is Wonder Police. Answer is that it's so much important question. Answer is that Wonder Police. Kids are curious about everything, and Wonder Police harnesses this innate characteristic with a kid-friendly non-fiction reading website. Each article is created to answer a question, and students can choose from a variety of categories, including technology, science, and arts and culture. Students can also take quizzes to test their knowledge after reading and refer to a vocabulary list when they come across a word they don't know. And the next question is advantage of internet. इससे तो तमाम फ्रेंड्स बखूबी वाकिफ़ होंगे. एडवांटेज ऑफ इंटरनेट ये तकरीबन हर स्टूडेंट कर सकता है आसानी. बाकी आप इसे यहाँ से रीड कर लीजिए वीडियो को स्टिल करके. नेक्स्ट चलते हैं क्विक्शनरी. क्विक्शनरी ये लफ्ज़ डिक्शनरी नहीं है, लफ्ज़ है क्विक्शनरी. सो आंसर इज़ दैट इट इज़ अ पेन like device. It allows the reader to easily scan the word and get its definition and translation on its own LCD screen. Technologies such as announce and sound editor enable learners to adjust the speech rate of listening materials to assist their comprehension and present spectrum of speech waves and visual depictions of mouth and tongue movement to ease the learning and refine pronunciation. And the next question is that radio as listening skills. Radio as listening skills. The answer is that one of the most accessible ways a learner has of developing listening skills. Answer is that low low tech and radio broadcasts are continuous. Listening to the radio is not an activity that is often used in class time. Radio listening can only be done only in real time, and the scheduling of language classes to catch particular radio program is difficult. And the difficulties of obtaining copyright often prevent teachers from recording from the radio for classroom use. The next question is writing prompts defined. So much important question. The answer is that this app generates fiction. Writing prompts define this app generates fiction and non-fiction writing prompts. Helping students master the skill of the short write, the app uses current events, scene elements, words, pictures, colors, and even random tidbits from fiction work to inspire students to write both short and long pieces. The 600 creative writing prompts are available both on and offline to encourage student writing where they may be. The next question is affordance with one example. Affordance with one example. The answer is that affordances are the visual clues that an object gives to it use as well as what it is capable of doing in terms of both intended and unintended functions. A chair is for sitting on, and the size of the seat suggests that it might be comfortable for that purpose. But the chair can also be stood upon or used as a weapon. These are other affordances. Affordances can be both obvious and learned. And the next question is how teachers prepare the orientation presentation. How teachers prepare the orientation presentation. Answer is that before you begin creating your own orientation, you may want to take a look at some of the information and orientation page that other institutions and institutional partners have set up. The following offers useful example. पोर्टलैंड कम्युनिटी कॉलेज ऑनलाइन लर्निंग ओरिएंटेशन एट ये वेबसाइट्स आपके सामने हैं, इन्हें यहाँ से आप रीड कीजिए वीडियो को स्टिल करके और चलते हैं नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पर. हाउ ईमेल इज़ यूजफुल फॉर कम्युनिकेशन. So much easy question. Email communication is used by business to promote product and services. Email is helpful to manage communication in the business network. Sharing and collaboration can be done through email. Notification and important updates are informed by business to its customers. The next question is that five technologies in modern education. Five technologies in modern education. So much important question है फ्रेंड, बहुत दफ़ा ये रिपीट हो चुका है. तो चलते हैं आंसर की तरफ. फाइव टेक्नोलॉजी इन मॉडर्न एजुकेशन. नंबर 1 क्लाउड बेस्ड टेक्नोलॉजी. नंबर 2 virtual and augmented reality and STEAM, arts and STEM. Number 4 technology to prevent bullying. And number 5, mobile style education. Mobile style education. And the next question is benefits of radio as listening skill. The answer is that a more inclusive school. Number 2, increase vocational skills. Number 3, develop communication. Number 4, improve literacy. Number 5, build confidence. Number 6, giving students a voice. Number 7, teamwork. Number 8, national curriculum. And the answer is that next question is that important basic skills of online courses. Answer is that touch typing. There is no way around it. Computers are a way of life. And digital communication. Once you started or continue to practice typing, everything else should build upon that. And effective verbal communication and public speaking and writing skills and time management. The next question is that board discuss. Board discuss is so much important question. The answer is that a discussion board can be of use in large lecture style classes as well. For most students, attending such a class means finding a seat somewhere in an auditorium, starting at the back of someone's head and listening to the instructor intone the lecture from a stage. Discussion in such a setting is usually fairly haphazard. The instructor pauses to solicit input from the assembled students. The more intrepid dare to raise their hands, while the rest sit quietly. And the next question is that any 3 points written by Collins on the shift from traditional to computer based learning. The answer is that a shift from whole class to small group instruction. And next, a shift from lecture and recitation to coaching. And a shift from working with better students to working with weaker ones. And next, a shift toward more engaged students. And the next question is that define the term web enhanced and blended. So much important question. Answer is that web enhanced courses are traditional courses that have some technology mediated components that complement the required class meetings. Blended courses reduce the amount of times faculty and students meet in person in a given semester and rely heavily on web technology to mediate learning. And next question is that writing prompts. Writing prompts are essay prompts are learning assignments that direct students to write about a particular topic in a particular way. They are designed to integrate a student's imagination and creativity into guided writing practice. And the next question is 3 advantages of hypertext from learner's point of view. The answer is that number 1 advantage is a hypertext footnote can be traced backwards and forwards to the referent or reference respectively. Number 2 advantage is that a hypertext section can be referenced in several places within the text, reducing the need for paraphrasing ideas that are used repeatedly and ensuring consistency of information. The advantage number 3 is that a hypertext reference can be visible at the same time as the next to which it refers. In a book, one might need to turn an appendix or even another book. And next question is that skimming and scanning. So much important question, friends. Skimming and scanning is a reading techniques. Skimming and scanning are reading techniques that use rapid eye movement and keywords to move quickly through text for slightly different purposes. And skimming is reading rapidly in order to get a general overview of the material, and scanning is reading rapidly in order to find specific facts. And the next question is providing facts. FAQs, providing facts. The answer is that take a good hard look at your syllabus and ask yourself if anything you are requiring your students to do will require special additional skills or equipment. For example, if you have advised an exercise that entails uploading or downloading software, using a plugin, or accessing a useful but difficult to navigate site, go through the steps yourself and jot down any parts of the exercise that may not be obvious. You may think that all of the operations involved are commonly known, but you shall be surprised to discover how many students don't understand them. If you don't provide some way for students to readily find out, you may spend an inordinate amount of class time filling in the blanks. The next question is that features used to improve writing in MS Word. The answer is that spellings and grammar is one of the standard tools. A window appears after you click on this option, showing the word or sentence in question on the top and a list of possible suggestions at the bottom. If the suggestion is something you like, click change. If not, click ignore. And the other feature is that you can use thesaurus. Thesaurus. You can use thesaurus if you do not know anything about a word in the text. Then this feature can help you in finding out the right word. And the next question is three cognitive strategies by Sharon and Schacher. Number one, strategies that explain with evidence. Number two, generalize. Number three, offer a concrete example. And the next question is that three types of assignment for evaluating student familiarity with the software being used online. Number one is that write a short self introduction and post it in the discussion forum, and take an orientation quiz using online testing. Fill in the template of a basic web page or blog with some biographical data and an optional photo of yourself. And add a video clip or audio recording if you like. And now we're friends going to the questions of 5 marks, most repeated question. And the question number one is that define how Skype develops the speaking skills. The answer is that Skype application is increasingly used as a part of listening and speaking development process throughout the world today. And Skype is an internet-based application that enables voice over internet protocol call. It has a useful user interface that enables the user's easy and effective use. What's more, there are similar online applications such as MSN and Google Talk and the likes. MSN Messenger also has millions of users worldwide and is used to improve speaking and listening skills by language to students. Ample and asset that Skype and MSN Messenger increasingly create newer possibilities for the users, and these softwares can also transmit video at the same time when the users speak to each other. So this feature raises the level of interaction between practices. And next question is how do emails help people to communicate? How do emails help people to communicate? The answer is that communicate with other distant learners. And point number two, communicate with tutors, facilitators in your discipline. Point number 3, post a question to a bulletin board on mailing list. Point number 4, develop a collaborative project with another distant learner. Point number 5, connect with key pals. The next question is write 5 tools for reading skills. The answer is that number 1 tool is Wonderpolis, number 2 tool is Dogo, number 3 tool is Kahoot, number 4 tool is Who's Reading, number 4 Book Track. And the next question is technologies in modern education. Technologies, 5 technologies in modern education, so much important question. Number 1 communication lab, number 2 technology is speech recognition software, number 3 internet, number 4 TEL, TELL, technology enhanced language learning, number 5 podcasting. And the next question is database and search engine. Database search engine. Answer is that a database is a corpus of information that is accessible for selection and recognition by predetermined criteria, as simple as alphanumeric ordering, or by more complicated search, such as by semantic field. The information can be in the form of text, numbers, image, sounds, or any other media. From the point of view of the user, the World Wide Web (WWW) is essentially a single database which one investigates with a search engine such as www.google.com. Search engine used to rely on organizing principles and efforts of teams of librarians, but with the exponential growth of the www, search engines are now generally automated with computer programs that look for the highest incidence of one search words, or in the case of www.google.com, for the number of other websites linked to websites featuring the search words. And the next question is that relationship between science fiction and computer assisted language learning. The answer is that science fiction has long been a rich ground for speculation about the use of computers, and in many ways serve to offer idealized visions of learning without concern for the constraints of technology that lag behind imagination. Many concepts that first appeared in science fiction have inspired developments in computing. One of the techniques of science fiction is to analyze concepts for the irreducible meaning and then to synthesize new and sometimes surprising combinations of ideas out of that basic material. Gun. Gun 1995. Author William Gibson created the metaphor cyberspace in his 1984 science fiction novel Neuromancer. Cyberspace retains its original and prophetic definition as consensual consensual hallucination and a graphic representation of data. Hypertext, hypermedia, and multimedia. Gibson 1984. The basic idea is that when interactions take place online, such as within a simulated environment, they are taking place within cyberspace. And the next question is that 5 uses of computer as a search. It's so much important question. The computer is not only a subject of research, it is now a universally important tool in conducting research. On the simplest level, computers are used to save time previously spent collecting data. For example, computers can collect information about the user's actions at the keyboard, such as such as by recording each single keystroke in real time. These actions can be played back by the researcher to see, for example, successive drafts in the writing process and use and abuse of tools such as spelling and grammar checkers and templates. Computers also provide fuller feedback on the details of language issues. The next question is that differentiate between web enhanced and blended materials. The answer is that web enhanced and blended material. Web enhanced is a broad category of courses with associated websites or course management system classroom that contain materials relevant to the course. Perhaps a syllabus list of web-based resources, a course calendar, a reading list, lecture notes or video lectures, discussion board, or real-time online meeting function and chat, actual online activities. And then other blended material is that courses in which both online and face-to-face instruction elements are required and complementary, and a sizable percentage of content is delivered online. There are required online student activities, and a significant portion of the student's grade is based on online activity. And the next question is that avatar in ESL instruction. The answer is that it's so much important question. The use of human the answer is that the use of human like avatars was not far fetched. The technology, although sometimes clumsy to manipulate with a keyboard or mouse, is already in place and widely used in gaming situations and social networking spaces such as Second Life. And the applications to CWLL have not been widely exploited, partly because of the cognitive overhead of teaching second language students how to use a service like Second Life outweighs any perceived benefits. However, for those already familiar with and active in Second Life, it might be an interesting platform for second language instruction. And the next question is friends, journal problems of collaboration. It's so much important question, and the answer is that the lack of input from some collaborative group members, and the inability of some teachers or learners to facilitate properly collaborative instruction to ensure the group remains on task, and the fact that collaborative learning may not, in the view of some teachers, seem an economical use of time, and teacher insecurity over unpredictable outcomes. And next question is that DOGO, Dogo. What is Dogo? Or write some about Dogo. Answer is that Dogo is a news website for kids. Please remember, friends, Dogo is a news website for kids and provides them with a library of digital books and movies as well. Students can read stories from a number of kid-friendly categories, including social studies, amazing sports, did you know, and more. And many students don't know what they like to read yet, and this website allows them to explore all topics and figure that out. While it is fun for students, allowing them to read kid-friendly versions of current event news stories, it's an ever better tool for teachers. And when signed up, they can create assignments, add media, books, news, stories, and movies to the assignment and keep students engaged with a social learning dashboard. And the next question is that question related to software evolution by Gear. Answer is that what type of software are available? Point number two is that what kind of software is appropriate for adult ESL classroom? Point number three, how do I select software for the classroom? Point number four, what kind of technical expertise do I need? Point number 5. What do the students need to know about computers? And the next question is that enlist the non-verbal behavior involved in non-verbal discourse strategies. Answer is that non-verbal behaviors such as silent reading may not easily reveal the learner's progress and intention, and this is because although it's possible to observe and electronically track what learners are looking at when at the computer and for how long, it's not totally reliable. Although it's possible to observe and electronically track what learners are looking at when at the computer and for how long, it's not a totally reliable measure of what learners' processes are at work. For example, learners may be deeply engaged in the task or may be daydreaming, browsing, or thinking of other tasks or problems when starting at or scrolling through a page. And next question is that main reasons due to which computer-assisted language learning is different from the fields of study. And the answer is that the discipline of computer-assisted language learning is relatively new and differs from other fields of study within applied linguistics for the basic reason that the rate of change of the technological aspects deeply influences theory, practice, and research. See figure I for this reason 30-year-old research providing finding critical of text only modes of representation is largely irrelevant and obsolete. Others then from a historical perspective, and one may assume that this trend of perpetual obsolescence will continue as computers and their interfaces become more powerful, more transparent, and easier for learner interactions and teacher programming. At the same time, computer-assisted language learning has been steadily migrating to other platforms as they themselves have become more powerful, so that computer games, mobile telephones, and even music players have become flexible learning platform for computer-assisted language learning. The next question is that three advantages of multimedia. The answer is that advantage of hypertext and multimedia in the promotion of autonomous language learning. C. Benson, 2010 Benson, and over 1998 Benson and Bowler 1997. Learners who can take advantage of multimedia links to explore explanations and peripheral information and somewhat lower the teacher-centeredness of the classroom. Learning depends on the teacher as the sole source or tutor of information. A well-formed multimedia database of materials can also assist those young and second language learners who lack dictionary and library search skills. And the next question is that briefly discuss the useful application that can be used by students and teachers for creating sharing the round box, writing with tablets. Schools around the globe are using tablets as a standard tool. This is directly affecting the writing process, and these gadgets are offering an easy time for the students in the terms of writing and sharing of material. The gadgets contain sophisticated programs that assist the students in advancing their grammar, translate the writing process into more practical use, and develop technical sharing processes. Furthermore, these tools are assisting the students in enhancing their research skills. The students that are more proficient in using tablets are more likely to pass their research tests than those who are not. And the next question is that friends, three advantages of internet and web for developing listening. Answer is that the web expands the basic advantage of the computer dramatically, making it possible to give students the exposure to authentic language, which is essential for the acquisition of native like listening ability, either through access to materials or electronic contact with actual native speakers. Moreover, the multimedia capabilities of the web facilitate the creation and implementation of listening comprehension activities. And the first advantage, access. The access is that the ability to digitize sound files and the new mode of streaming audio and video have made audiovisual documents readily distributable from and accessible to any place in the world. Radio stations and TV channels in major languages have accessible websites, and some BBC, RFI, and TV5 even have special pedagogical pages and contact offering students a true non-native speaker native speaker interactive listening situation in the classroom environment as if they were in the classroom to country or engaging in an actual conversation with native speakers was previously difficult, if not impossible, to arrange. This type of communication is now possible. However, using the audio input features of computers and for video webcam technology, see below under listening material and listening activities. Ease of use. The great advantage of the Web 4 and Firefox, especially for listening comprehension, is the ease of use, which comes from the ability to have anything on the same page without having to install complicated software, even if certain programs must be on the local hard disk. As was true when progress resulted in automobile drivers no longer having to crank up the engine shift or know anything about the engine with the regret to computers. Now all the users has to do is click. And the next question is that define affordances with example. The answer is that affordances are the visual clues that an object gives to its use as well as what it's capable of doing in terms of both intended and unintended functions. A chair is for sitting on, and the size of the seat suggests that it might be comfortable for that purpose. But the chair can also be stood upon or used as weapon. These are other affordances can be both obvious and learned. An example, making software more responsive. Learners often seem unaware of or unconcerned with some of resources that would help them complete a task. Better software programs could perhaps be more active in advertising their resources through time prompts. Prompts that appear after a certain time of keyboard and mouse inactivity, modeled after the practice of a good teacher, such as click here to go to a resource that might help you answer this, find out more about this topic. And the next question is, friend, according to David Harding for teaching language 2 reading skills, in which natural order language activities should taught? The answer is that a similar division is also suggested by David Harding, who writes that the natural order in which language activities should be taught is oral comprehension, oral expression, reading comprehension, and expression in writing. Next question is that difference between commercial publishers and computer assisted language learning materials. And the answer is that a further difference between computer assisted language learning and other areas of applied linguistics is that the commercial software industry, not university academics, is the major instigator, creator of the most commonly used learning material. Although it can be argued that the same is true for traditional publishing, the relationship between educators and print publishers is more of a symbiotic nature, particularly as government, school, and universities tend to have labels to which publishers materials must conform. The same is less true for computer language learning material for the simple reason that there are not enough computer language learning materials to choose from, and the market is not yet as competitive or adaptable to local needs, especially considering the high costs of producing an innovative and high quality CD-ROM or DVD a process more akin to producing a film than publishing a textbook. And the next question is that place of collaboration. The answer is that learners often collaborate. Learners often collaborate either on their own initiative or as an assigned activity. Collaboration is an important activity in the classroom because it encourages both social skills and thinking skills and mirrors the way in which learners often need to work in an academic setting, and certainly once they leave it from the point of view of learning a language. There is an additional benefit in the process of negotiating the meaning of a task and the means by which it may be addressed. Learners make decisions about the learning material they study and the ways in which they should study. And the next question is that simultaneity. The answer is that the linking feature of computer software means that the computer interface of a listening activity can give students simultaneous access to the multiple type of information mentioned above, limited only by the speed and capacity of the hardware, and thus it's not only that a film and transcript can be accessed on the same computer, but much more impressive that there are clickable buttons give students access to all of the valuable features from the same screen. They can click on the video controls to see the transcript of the scene they are watching, on the transcript to see the scene from the video, or on dictionary to see definitions of keywords. For a brief history of technology used in foreign language instruction, see burst on this volume. Next question, reading skills and their enhancement. इसे फ्रेंड आप यहाँ से रीड कीजिए, तो नीचे चलते हैं, अगर हम ये प्रिपेयर कर लेते हैं तो ये हमारा ऑटोमेटिक प्रिपेयर हो जाएगा. क्वेश्चन है रीडिंग स्किल्स. द आंसर इज दैट रीडिंग स्किल रेफर टू द एबिलिटी टू अंडरस्टैंड रिटन टेक्स्ट. When students comprehend or understand written text and combine their understanding with prior knowledge, they are able to perform the following three reading comprehension skills. Number one, identify simple facts presented in written text. And number two, make judgments about the written text content. And number three, connect the text to other written passages and situations. And the development of these reading skills is vital to learners' development, and a sheer volume of studies has demonstrated a link between competency in reading and overall attainment in school, literacy attainment, and other outcomes. Next question is that using smartphone language learning process. आई थिंक इट्स सो मच ईजी क्वेश्चन. एवरी स्टूडेंट जो है इसके बारे में तकरीबन 5 से 6 लाइन लिख सकता है, तो कुछ रीड कर लेते हैं. Undoubtedly, your classroom is full of technology, even if there is not a computer or projector inside. Often, the most advanced technology is right in your students' pockets in the form of their phones. Having a smartphone is like walking around with an entire computer in your pocket. So it's so much easy question. And next question is self-assessment. So much important question, and the answer is that when engaged in a conversation, the attentive intellectuals will either recognize instances of miscomprehension or have they pointed out. In contrast, learners challenged by an audio or videotape accompanied by any one of a variety of activities may not know when they have misinterpreted or just simply missed important information. Next question is that Quizzle. Quizzle offers a fun of collaborative way to assess learning. This app allows teachers to create quizzes for students to test their subject knowledge. Teachers can also add image and annotations to make more varied questions, put explanations, categorize questions under subtopics, and set a time limit for quizzes. Quizlize also has a tool for teachers to keep track of students' results so they can provide immediate feedback. And students can answer the quizzes individually or form teams and compete against one another. The app has over 20,000 pre-made quizzes that users can answer for practice or for him. The next question is sentence builder. So much important question. Winner of the 2010 IR Language Arts App of the Year, Sentence Builder is an app geared toward elementary students. It uses a game-like interface to teach students to form grammatically correct simple, compound, and complex sentences. This app offers audio reinforcement, progress monitoring, and a teen module for older or struggling ella students. And next question is play, pause it, and add puzzle. The answer is that play, pause it, and add puzzle are two of our favorite tools that allow teachers to create interactive videos. The teachers can record a screencast or leverage existing videos, animate questions at strategic points in a video to monitor comprehension or push a student's thinking. Teachers can differentiate content and questioning and promote self-paced learning. Additionally, by embedding formative assessment check throughout the video, analyzing real-time data based on student response. Teachers can provide precise intervention or enrichment along with timely and specific feedback. Teachers can use this tool as part of a flipped or blended learning model to provide self-paced learning opportunities. Videos can be taken from YouTube or teachers can utilize their own creation. Don't think of it as just a teacher tool. Encourage students to create their own flipped videos with questions. And the next question is that difficulties faced in online learning. तो हेडिंग्स देखते हैं कौन कौन सी हैं. एडेप्टबिलिटी स्ट्रगल, टेक्निकल इश्यूज, कंप्यूटर लिटरेसी, टाइम मैनेजमेंट. इन्हें आप यहाँ से रीड कीजिए वीडियो को स्टिल करके. तो न चलते हैं नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पर. ब्रीफ नोट ऑन बुक ट्रैक. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है. राइट अ ब्रीफ नोट ऑन बुक ट्रैक. The answer is that this one of a kind tool makes reading more interactive and engaging by allowing students to select audio to go with their text. Students can use their soundtrack while reading alone or work together to create a soundtrack as a class for group or teacher reading. Students can also choose to read from book tracks library of classic stories that are already paired with soundtracks, making older stories more exciting. And the next question is that go animate. Answer is that students can use this tool to create animated videos using their own voice by recording an MP3 or MP4 and then importing into Go Animate. It can also be accessed as a listening tool when you share prepared video either with your own voice or computer generated one such as that which can be found in the discussing math method over dinner example shared below. Be sure that when using a listening tool that you give specific things students are to listen for. And the next question is Woki. What is Woki? Write a brief note on Woki. The answer is that Woki, found online at www.woki.com, is a fun way to engage students through talking avatars. Students can create their own avatars designing them to resemble a historical character or a caricature of their own self. Using their own voice, they can enhance language skills, work on vocabulary, answer questions. The possibilities are endless. Likewise, teachers can create homework assignments, as in the example below, reinforcing listening skill by holding students accountable for completion of a specific task. The Woki website has close to 200 different lesson plans that apply the use of this tool across the curriculum. And the next question is that element for an orientation. The answer is that journal introduction, including our expectations for online students. Number two, requirements for computer equipment and software other than the platform being used, computer skills needed. Number four, introduction to the course management software or the other program you will use to teach the class. Number five, a first assignment that requires students to demonstrate some familiarity with the software being used. And the next question is smart typewriter. The answer is that the smart typewriter was developed as a tool for authors, writers, journalists, and other professionals to increase their daily productivity and word count. With its straightforward design and focused functionality, the tool eliminates some distractions that may hamper your writing progress, especially those offered by the internet. Non-professionals, particularly students, can benefit from the use of smart typewriters more than any age group. The young demographics is more vulnerable to the distractions provided by the internet because many aspects of their lives, entertainment and social life are centered on it. सो फ्रेंड्स ये क्वेश्चन है, यहाँ से रीड कीजिए। ड्रा मैककॉनेल हाइपोथेसिस टेबल लास्ट क्वेश्चन है, इसे आप यहाँ से रीड कीजिए। और बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका वीडियो देखने के लिए मुकम्मल। मुझे यकीन है आपने तमाम क्वेश्चन गौर से सुने होंगे, और अगर आपने तमाम सुने तो मैं यकीन से कह सकता हूँ कि आपकी तैयारी बहुत अच्छी हुई है, आपके 70-80% मार्क्स लाजमन आ जाएंगे। तो ओके फ्रेंड्स, अल्लाह निगहबान, खुदा हाफिज़।